Hey guys, welcome to my fourth video, and I will be talking about the differences and similarities between an American college like FSU and an English college like the University of Manchester. This is my diploma from FSU. Yes, I did bring it all the way from America. The way essays and papers are graded is crazy different. Here, if you get a 70 or above, you're brilliant, and it means that your paper, if you're writing an essay, your paper could be published. So 70 and above is a distinction. Then a 60 to a 69 is a merit, and that's a really good grade and will give you a really good degree. 50 to 59 is a pass, and is on like the lower scale of a good degree, and 40 to 49 is just a D, and less than 39 is a fail. And in America, if you get below a 70, you fail. So it's been kind of a struggle readjusting my mindset to be like, oh my god, Eliza, you got a 60. That's kind of okay. Because really, like, honestly, the like 70 to 100, I do know people who've gotten more than 70, but it's honestly like a lot of the points, especially 80 to 9 or 80 to 100, just disappear. In America, we have mini quizzes, we have assignments, we have homework, we have tests, we have projects, we have presentations. Here, it's like one essay or one test at the end of the year. So they're a lot more stressful because if you mess that up, then you've messed up the whole class. So it's a lot more stressful in that aspect. So the buildings on campus, it might be just because it's a little bit older than an American university, or at least FSU. The buildings don't have water fountains. They have water bottle fillers, which is great, but like if you don't have a water bottle, then you can't drink the water and you can't stay hydrated. And also there's the issue of sometimes you just can't find water at all in any of the buildings. I have one building in mind where I went like all 4 floors and there was no water fountains, which you wouldn't really find in America. The bathrooms are small, but on the upside, there are not huge slits in the doors or between the doors and the walls, which is very common in America and their toilets. So at least at FSU, when you pay your tuition, you get a lot of free stuff. You get football tickets, you get parking if you have a car, you get membership to the gym that's on campus. Whereas here, you have to pay additionally to go to the gym. And there's 2 different gyms, and one isn't even on campus. One is sort of on campus, and for some reason I picked the one that wasn't on campus. So that's another story. But there is a lot of free stuff involved in the tuition, which might explain, in America, which might explain why tuition might be higher than a school in the UK or in Europe, because we have a lot of little things that aren't included in Europe. So at FSU, football was a huge thing. People who have graduated from FSU stay connected to the university through football. They come back for alumni weekends, they come back for parents' weekend if your child also goes to FSU. There's a lot of ways that people who have graduated from American universities can stay connected, and a lot of that is through sports. Here in the UK, sports aren't really that big a deal. We don't have the school spirit that an American university would have, and once you leave and graduate from a university, you don't really go back. You can go back to like, oh look, that's where I went to school, but it's not really a big thing to like go back for a weekend, at least from what I've seen and what I've read. So at Florida State, we had the Swanee Dining Hall, which was one big Hogwarts-looking dining hall in the middle of campus, and everyone who wanted to have a catered dining experience would go to that dining hall. So even if no one lived in it, no one lived on top of it, but all the dorms on campus, there were only dorms on campus, but all of those dorms would go to this one place to eat. Here, the dorm rooms that are catered, they all have their own dining room, so you don't have to go to another building to eat. You can just stay in your hall and eat. And then even if you are catered, you still have like a little kitchen. And I am self-catered because I'm kind of picky when it comes to food, so I didn't want to spend money to eat food I might not like. So I have like a bigger kitchen, but that's another difference. One classic English difference: the drinking age here is 18 as opposed to 21, and that has created some obvious changes. For example, there is a dorm hall party, like an official party that the dorm hall put on, a uni accommodation, and they were just giving out free alcohol. There was a guy walking around with like a bag of wine, pouring it into people's mouths, and I thought that was so funny because imagine having that in America. You wouldn't, obviously, because it's illegal to have freshmen drinking free alcohol given to you by RAs. That doesn't happen. So I just thought that was so funny. Some dorms even have their own like fully fledged campus bars, and there's like discounted drinks, and you can get a pitcher of Long Island iced tea for £6, which is pretty great. At FSU, a lot of the accommodation halls are on campus, except for that one that's like north of Tennessee Street, and it's like you have to go through the tunnel. But here, there are 3 communities, basically, of dorm halls, and one is more towards the city, one is south of campus / on campus, and one is like a 10-minute bus ride away. So it's possible to have to take the bus into school, but still live in a uni accommodation. One of my biggest qualms is that none of the on-campus little cafes and coffee carts do chai. They only do like tea and coffee, and I don't drink coffee, and tea doesn't have that much caffeine. So that reminded me I'm drinking my tea. I'm trying not to get sick again. So I really love chai. I don't drink coffee. And so instead of like giving my money to, well, it's the university, but more local venues, I have to go to Starbucks or Costa and get my chai there. My mom asked me why I spent my money at Starbucks instead of going to a local coffee shop, and that is why. One funny thing is, well, funny to me, was that Stroger Library at FSU is literally like huge. It has a big sign that says Stroger, and it's in the quad. It's in the middle, so like it draws your attention. The main library here, I didn't know existed for like a solid month because it's hidden in a corner, and the sign that says like main library is tiny. It's like on the wall. So, like, I didn't actually know it existed. I thought the Learning Commons, Alan Gilbert? We call it Allergy, so I don't know the full name. But I thought that was the main library, but it's just Learning Commons. It's not that I don't spend time in the library. It's just I do a lot of work at home, so it's not like I do no work. Also, one sad difference is walking around FSU, you would see so many dogs. You'd walk through Landis, and you'd see so many dogs. Here, you don't see dogs. You don't see dogs at all. So obviously here, sororities and frats don't exist. It's more like you join a sports team, and then it's kind of its own society, community, and you go to parties, and you have socials and stuff like that. So there's no sororities and frats, but that kind of social life is still here. Also, in America, it's common to have a dorm room with another person, to share your dorm room with another person. Here, at least in Europe, they think that's crazy. They think that's absolutely crazy that you would share a room with someone else. They don't do that here. This whole room, I have to myself. It might be a little small, but it's bigger than most of my roommates. So, also, I keep saying also. Sorry if it's bugging you. So at FSU, we have syllabus week, which is the first week of classes. You are just given the syllabus, you're not really expected to work, and you are like going out. At least if you're over 21, you can go out, or if you're under 21, you're probably gonna have a house party. So lots of stuff to do. But the difference is here in England, they have Freshers Week, which is literally put on by the school. The school hosts all these events that you could pay for and go to, and they're parties because everyone is probably 18, or if you're not yet 18, you won't get in, but you have to show your ID still. But the school puts on all these parties which involve drinking, so that's a big difference. Is the school's way more involved in how we celebrate the first week of school. Mainly the only similarities is that we both have food markets, we both have days where puppies come in, and we can relieve stress by hugging them. Both campuses are very pretty. Manchester mainly has prettier buildings because they're older and have like history. FSU, the buildings are pretty. I love the red brick, but I also love the palm trees. I love all the grass. I love the greenery. I love the flowers. I love all the trees. Both campuses are really pretty. Feel free to like and subscribe to my channel so you can see all the videos that I've posted if you haven't already watched them, and it will alert you whenever I post a new video. My next video will be my top 10 favorite places I've ever traveled. So even if you don't really care about information for studying abroad, or because you're out of school and you're like, Liza, I don't care about schools in England, you probably still care about traveling, so make sure to tune in and watch that video. Thanks guys, bye.